I seem to be one fighting against the tide on this. Everybody wants to tell me how difficult it was, and I guess it'd be in my best interest to let them believe that. On the other hand, I never was one who made that big a deal about it. Had I been a different kind of a sportscaster, it might well have been difficult. Had I been a loud plaid jacket with a bright bow tie and slapping a guy on the back and what pitch did you hit Joe kind of sportscaster, that might have been difficult. But I think even my most ardent critics would have a difficult time saying that I was that kind of a broadcaster in sports. I wasn't. Does it necessarily mean that I was Phi Beta Kappa? No. It does mean that I approached it in much the same fashion as I approach things now. And I'm one who genuinely believes that if you work in communications, the essentials of it never change. You do your homework, you ask what you think are intelligent questions, you listen, you attempt to make your guests justify themselves, and you attempt to make whatever they're saying clear to all concerned. And I don't think that changes whether you're interviewing Alexander Haig or Pete Rose. I mean, it just doesn't change. One's view of events that they're dealing with, it may be broader, but it doesn't change.
What about the comments we hear in and out of the media of some problems that you and Jane Pauley have?
I don't know. You know, it's funny.
You laugh.
Well, they're never stated as problems. What people invariably say is, geez, the two of you get along so much better now than you used to. I don't think that unusual. I mean, if we started a relationship today, I would certainly hope that a year from now we would get along better than we get along now. I mean, I don't think it's unusual or uncommon for two people to be thrown together, asked to work together under the glare of public spotlight when they don't really know each other, and hit it off the bat just like that, and everything goes smooth. Difficult. I mean, more for her than for me. I mean, I think that's obvious. I mean, because although it may be more uncomfortable for me because I'm the newcomer to the staff, the fact of the matter is, since you come in as the person, in a very blunt sense, they have to get used to you. You don't have to get used to them. I mean, it's that simple. As some guys were inclined to say in sports, either my way or the highway. I mean, and I think a lot of that holds. On the other hand, you can't be that tactless. It's a little too late in the ballgame for me to change my manner. I am extremely self-confident. If you like me, that's terrific. If you don't, then I'm arrogant. That doesn't bother me a great deal. I mean, I'm not going to back off of that. I think far too long in this country, it has been true that if you take a black man and a white man with the same personality, be it abrasive, confident, arrogant, or whatever,
Assertive.
Yeah, the black guy, in much the same fashion as has happened with women, tends to be judged too arrogant, too abrasive, too haughty, etc.
Cocky.
Yeah, that's not my problem. You know, I admit it. I'm very confident. I'm extremely confident. Smart enough to be, but I'm not the kind of person who gets intimidated by a lot. It just doesn't happen to me. I sometimes wish I could get, maybe nervous is a bad word, but I sometimes wish I could get more of an edge of apprehension. It just doesn't happen to me. It's happened once in my life, and I was genuinely surprised when it happened, and it happened with the Pope.
Well, of course, but how? What happened?
Well, I mean, it just that I didn't think it was going to be any big deal. I mean, I really didn't. I mean, you know, you meet presidents, you meet prime ministers, you meet kings and queens, and whoopee-dee. You know, they do walk on two legs. And I kind of figured it would be the same with the Pope, and
it wasn't?
Well, it wasn't. I mean, and all along, I guess I thought it was. I mean, the cars picked us up and brought us into the Vatican by the back way, and, you know, you walk through the Sistine Chapel, and it's dark, and they hit the lights, and there's the, you know, and then they lead you to the Pope's private chapel, and you're kind of sitting there, and then suddenly, you know, there he is, and all of your training and all of your saying, it's no big deal, kind of washes away when he comes over, and you feel like the village idiot. That's the only time it's ever happened to me. There are a lot of things that happen in this business that if you work hard, it's funny, the harder you work, the luckier you get. I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to separate management from America. I mean, I think they are in many ways part and parcel of the same act, and each one a product of the other. I think management had some hesitations. And I think management in the past can accept a great deal of blame for not proceeding at a faster pace. The problem is less one of malicious racism than it is one of fear and practical economics.
Fear.
And I
say the word fear coupled with
well,
racism as a cop-out.
Well, not really. Let me put it to you in these terms. That I think it would have taken extraordinary management guts in the past to put a black man or woman in a position that meant so much economically to the company they represented when their job was on the line by that profit and loss statement. It would have taken an extraordinary amount of courage. Instead, the easier way out, historically, has always been, instead of seeking somebody who is new or different or fresh, let us take somebody who is a proven commodity.
Safe.
So that if they fail, I can at least go to my board and say, hey, wait a minute. I took the one that was recommended by the firm of Hutz and Bo Diddley, or I took the one with a proven track record, and there's a bit of protection built in.
So you're covering your own.
As opposed to taking a new commodity. That is not to excuse them. It is to say that I think the root of the problem is more to be found in that arena than it is one of just blatant malicious racism of, no, and that black guy will never sit there as long as I'm president. I don't think that's the case.